Welcome to the CCD 75 Basic Know Your Rights for Transportation. This is our outreach committee. My name is Christy Angel, and I am the president of CCD 75. Please do forgive me for not being on camera as I am multitasking. However, that does not take away from what we are doing today. We do have CIDNY for our second session this week. Anna Humphrey has been here to give us a highlight for Accessoride, for Omni, OMNY New York, for MTA, for Fair Fares. There's a lot that you get to learn today. We know that this is your lunch hour, so we are going to be concise and respectful of your time. With that, we do want to give the interpreters the floor. We have Spanish, Mandarin, and Bangla today. We will give the Spanish interpreters the floor to give your rules and interpretations. Excuse me.
Buenos días. Para escuchar la conferencia en español, por favor marcar el 347-966-4114. De nuevo, marcar desde su celular el 347-966-4114. E ingrese la clave de conferencia 7534722 símbolo numeral. De nuevo, la clave de conferencia es 75394-7225 símbolo numeral. Por favor, mantener su teléfono en silenciador presionando mute para evitar ruidos de fondos. Gracias. Spanish announcement completed. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Bangla, you now have the floor to give your instructions.
শুভ অপরাহ্ন। যারা আপনারা এই পুরো অনুষ্ঠানটি বাংলাতে শুনতে চান তারা দয়া করে এই নাম্বারটিতে ডায়াল করুন। নাম্বারটি হচ্ছে 347-966-4114। তারপরে এই আইডি নাম্বারটি ডালুন। আইডি নাম্বারটি হচ্ছে 891-983-18। তারপর হ্যাশট্যাগ চাপুন কিংবা নাম্বার সাইনটি চাপুন। আমি আবারও বলছি, আপনারা যারা এই পুরো অনুষ্ঠানটি বাংলাতে শুনতে চান তারা দয়া করে এই নাম্বারটিতে ডায়াল করুন। নাম্বারটি হচ্ছে 347-966-4114। তারপরে এই আইডি নাম্বারটি দিন। আইডি নাম্বারটি হচ্ছে 891-983-18। তারপর হ্যাশট্যাগ চাপুন কিংবা নাম্বার সাইনটি চাপুন। আর আপনাদের যদি কোনো কথা বলার থাকে কিংবা কোনো কিছু জিজ্ঞেস করা থাকে তাহলে আপনারা দয়া করে চ্যাটের মাধ্যমে জানাতে পারেন। ধন্যবাদ। বাংলা announcement is done.
Thank you so much. Mandarin, you now have the floor to give your instructions.
各位家长大家好，如果说您需要中文翻译的话，请你们打这个电话347-966-4114，然后按下密码969-358-869，请字号。再一次，如果您需要中文翻译的话，你可以打电话347-966-4114，然后按下密码969-358-869，井号。谢谢 ，Thank you. Completed.
Thank you so much. Now we do have the instructions. Again, if there are any issues, please do let our AA Gabrielle Walcott know or myself. Now we will give the floor over to Miss Anna Humphrey, who is here to continue with our basic rights for transportations for family and children with special needs. Anna, thank you so much for coming back and being in partnership with the council. We will now give you the floor to move into your presentation.
Thanks, Christy. Thanks everyone for having me. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Just making sure. So I'm going to start sharing my presentation now. Just give me 1 second and please confirm when you see it on your screen. Can you see the presentation? Can someone just verbally confirm that you can see the presentation before I start?
I can see.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, so My name is Anna Humphrey. I'm here today on behalf of the Center for Independence of the Disabled New York, or CIDNY, and I am their transportation and voting community organizer. So I was here on Tuesday to talk a bit about Access-a-Ride, and today I'm going to be talking more broadly about accessible transportation as a whole in New York City, and I'll briefly go over some more information about Access-a-Ride as well. So I'm just going to go to the contents of the presentation. So today we're going to be talking about different types of transportation. So that will include accessible taxis, subways, buses, and Access-a-Ride. And then we're going to be talking a bit about fare payment. So that will include Omni, fares, reduced fare, and the congestion pricing exemption, the individual disability exemption plan. And then we're going to be talking lastly about navigation. So that will include route planning strategies and then some accessible apps and tools. So I'm just going to start with transportation types. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is accessible taxis. So currently 50% of New York City yellow cab fleet is accessible. And the way that you can access this is through the Accessible Dispatch program. So essentially, this just allows you to call your taxi, call an accessible taxi to you on demand, and you can also book in advance. So a couple of ways to do this are, first, you can use the mobile app. It's just called Accessible Dispatch NYC. And you can see I have a photo on the right that just shows what the app will look like, and it's available on the Apple App Store or the Android App Store, Google Play. So it's just a green logo. It's either a green or a black logo with that, similar to that photo that you see in the corner that says accessible dispatch with the wheelchair user. That's what the app will look like. Another option is you can order your car online, and I have the link here. There's going to be a lot of links throughout this presentation, but I'll share them all with Christy so everyone can have access. And then the other option is that you can call the dispatch center directly. So I have the number on the screen. It's 646-599-9999, or you could also call 311 or 711 if you are in New York City. The next type of transportation is subways. So currently the subway fare is $2.90. And just as a note, this is going to be increasing to $3 by the MTA, or excuse me, by the end of the year, the MTA has announced. So currently about 144 of the 472 stations are accessible throughout the system. So that's a little less than a third of the stations, which is not great, but we're continuing that advocacy work with the MTA to make sure that they are allocating the necessary funds to make sure that the full system is accessible by their 2055 goal. Right now, 43 more stations are being made accessible either through elevators or ramps. And I believe with the current capital program, they have the funds to make to start construction on 60 stations total by the end of 2026. Newer train cars are equipped with color contrast seats and entrances. So you'll see that yellow strip by the door or the yellow seating that's designated for people with disabilities. And the newer cars also have audio and visual announcements, which is great. And they are just continually upgrading the cars. There are some cars out there in the system that are older than me. So it's great that they're starting to roll out these new cars with some of these great accessibility features. And in 2023, a settlement was reached that required the MTA to make 95% of their stations accessible by the year 2055. So hopefully that's something that most of us will get to see in our lifetime. Next is buses. So the fare for the buses is also that $2.90 that will be increased to $3 by the end of the year. And all of the New York City local buses are wheelchair accessible with either ramps or lifts like you see pictured here. All of the buses also have the kneeling function, which just lowers the entrance height for people that may have trouble getting up that step. And the newer buses also have accessible stop announcements, so those audio-visual announcements, as well as wider doors and color contrasted seats and doorways. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking a bit about Access-a-Ride. Some of this will be repeat for people who joined my presentation on Tuesday, but I'll just go through this part a bit more quickly. And again, if people have questions about it at the end or want to contact me later, I can give you some more information. But essentially, Access-a-Ride is a paratransit door-to-door rideshare service that's provided by the MTA. It operates within the 5 boroughs of New York City, and it also extends into nearby areas in Nassau and Westchester counties. Trips on Access-a-Ride must be scheduled 24 hours in advance, and the riders pay the same amount as the subway or the bus fare. So to use Access-a-Ride, you must apply and be approved for the service. And in your application, you must provide proof of disability, which could include doctor's notes or documentation from medical professionals. And you are also encouraged to provide a personal statement, which would explain why your disability prevents you from riding public transit. From that point, they will schedule you for an in-person assessment that you can do at one of the MTA assessment centers. They will send you a free car that will take you to the location closest to where you live or where you work. And the assessment will include an interview, a physical assessment, as well as simulations of transit-related tasks. So to apply for Access-a-Ride, you can fill out an inquiry form online. Again, I have a link here that I'll make sure is shared with you. Or you can call the eligibility staff to determine your eligibility at 877-337-2017. And after completing that inquiry, an application will be mailed to you. And then from that point, you'll receive a date for your in-person assessment. And then after 3 weeks from your assessment date is when you'll receive your decision in the mail. If you are denied that service, you do have the right to appeal your eligibility decision within 60 days of the notification. And an appeal form and instructions will be included in that letter. So again, if you need any help with the application or the appeal process, please contact me. My contact information is here, but I'll also provide it at the end. So I'll make sure I'll leave that in the chat for everyone. Now we're going to move on to fare payment. So something I get a lot of questions about is Omni. Some of you may have already received these black and white cards in the mail and started using them. And some of you may still be using your Metro card. But Omni it stands for One Metro New York. It's the MTA's contactless fare payment system that is currently for subways, buses, and some regional transit. The MTA is in the process of rolling out Omni for Access-a-Ride users. But you can just expect to receive your new card in the mail if you're already an Access-a-Ride user, and no action is needed. It'll just automatically get sent to you, and you'll be able to finish up whatever funds you have left on your Metro card and then start using the Omni card. It's going to be completely replacing the Metro card by the end of the year. So like I said, finishing up the funds on the Metro card, once you have your Omni card, you'll just start using that. By the end of the year, the Metro card will be no longer. The Omni reader, like in the photo here, it actually does read contactless credit and debit cards, smartphone wallets like Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, and it also reads, of course, the Omni cards. The goal of the Omni system is just for a faster, more convenient and modern payment with tap and go. So I'm going to talk about all of the different ways that you can use Omni. So the first way is with a contactless card or mobile wallet. So the steps for this are you're going to find the Omni Reader, which is a black screen with a circular target on those subway turnstiles or bus fare boxes, like the image I showed on the first slide. Next, you will tap your contactless card or your smartphone or your watch and wait for the screen to light up green, and then it will say go. And then you're done. You've been charged for a single ride fare. So you've been charged $2.90 for your trip. And there's no need to buy or reload anything in advance. If you have a contactless card or wallet, you'll just tap your debit card or your credit card or your phone, and you'll just be charged straight from your account. The next way to use Omni is with the Omni card that you see pictured on the right. They are sold at Omni vending machines. There's only some machines that are out in certain stations, but they will be more broadly released by the end of the year. And then you can also buy them on the Omni website or even at retail locations. They're going to start selling the Omni cards at CVS, Walgreens, and 7-Eleven. So to buy the initial card, it's $5, and then you must load at least $1 onto it to start. And then it works just like a Metro card, except you tap the card instead of swiping. And then you can reload the card online at any of those retail partners I mentioned, or eventually you'll be able to reload them at those vending machines in the subway stations. And this is a great option for people that don't have bank accounts or smartphones to use. Another way to use Omni is you can create an online account. It's optional, but the MTA does recommend it. You can just go to omni.info to create your account and register your card using the card information on the back on the white side of the card that you see on the right. And then you can register any of your payment methods that you're planning to use. You can go through and see your trip history, see your past charges, and then you can get the fare capping benefits if you have an online account, even if you switch between cards and phones. If you're changing your payment method, they will know it's all on your one Omni account, so you'll still get the fare capping. So now I'm going to explain a bit about what fare capping is. So fare capping, you're paying per ride, but you will automatically get unlimited rides after 12 paid rides in a 7-day period. So Monday through Sunday. So you're going to be paying for those first 12 rides, but you won't be paying any more than $34 a week with the 7-day unlimited. And then again, this works only if you use the same payment method each time, unless you have the online Omni account set up. So that's the benefit of creating that account. Next, I'm going to be talking about some discount options for fares. So the first one is called Fare Fares. This is a half price discount for subway fares as well as eligible bus and paratransit trips. So this program does work with Accessoride. They have the pay per ride, 7-day weekly and 30-day monthly unlimited ride options. Currently 358,000 New Yorkers are enrolled in the program. So how do you know if you're eligible for the program? You must be a New York City resident and you must be between the ages of 18 to 64. And then you must have a household income at or below 145% of the federal poverty level. So this is something that we're hoping to increase because it's still a pretty low threshold. And there's a lot of people that could definitely benefit from this half price discount that currently aren't eligible. So that's another area of advocacy that we've been working on at CIDNY. But the last requirement is that you cannot receive or be eligible for a discounted Metro card from any other program. So to apply for Fare Fares, you can check your eligibility online. To complete your application submission, you can get the Access HRA mobile app to submit any documents related to your application. So I also have linked here a suggested document list. And it's just a list of documents that will help prove what your income is. And then if you need assistance applying, you can call 311, or again, you can feel free to call me and I can help you with that as well.
Can I double dutch in really quickly? Guys, in support of what Anna is speaking with, I have pulled in Access HRA. I want you to know what she's saying is absolutely correct. If you have, this is only if you are digital. If you have a Samsung, if you have an Apple, you can use the links that I have sent you, because Access HRA allows you to do everything in one space. Medicaid, fair fares, traveling, SNAP, which is food stamps. All of that is in one place. You can check the accessibility. This is what Anna has spoken about with Access HRA. These apps are on the chat. The fair fares that she will get into, the link is there as well, and so is the app. I just wanted to make sure that people segue over while they're listening to you. Anna, I give the floor back to you. Thank you.
Thank you for that addition. That's helpful. So now I'm going to get into the reduced fare Metro card. So again, this is also a half price discount.
Turn it down. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I think someone is still unmuted. If everyone can just double check.
Oh
that
no,
they're
that was
muted.
me. I'm sorry, y'all. I came into the next room and I told my son to turn down the projector. I went into
No
mommy
problem.
mode. I'm sorry.
Hi,
Let me mute.
guys.
He says hi, guys.
Okay, no problem. So yes, this is also a half price discount. So again, half of the $2.90 base fare. And this is for subways, local, limited, and select bus services at all times of day for eligible customers. And you'll notice that this unfortunately does not work with Accessoride at this time. On express bus trips, the reduced fare is $3.50, so half of the $7 base fare. And you will pay the reduced fare anytime except during the weekday peak periods, which is 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 3 to 7 p.m. And then on the LIRR and Metro North Railroad, you can save up to 50% off of the full one-way peak fare. And then it says here that you will pay the reduced fare anytime except weekday mornings if you're traveling towards New York City terminals, but that's actually something that the MTA has recently announced will be no longer. So that's great. That exemption no longer applies to the LIRR and the Metro North. So you could just disregard this last sentence. So how do you know if you're eligible for reduced fare? So this is for any person that is 65 years old or over, or for any person with a qualifying disability. So they have listed for qualifying disability, that will be someone that receives Medicare benefits for any reason other than age, someone with a serious mental illness that is receiving SSI, supplemental security income. Other qualifying disabilities include blindness, deafness or hearing loss, ambulatory disabilities, cognitive disabilities, or other physical disabilities. So there's a couple of ways to apply for a reduced fare Metro card. So you can either do it by mail or you can do it in person. So there's two different applications, whether you're applying as someone that's 65 or older, or if you're a person with a disability or applying on behalf of someone with a disability. So I'll be sure to share all of these links. And then you're just going to fill out the application and you'll mail the application to the MTA New York City Transit. And I have the address listed here. It's 130 Livingston Street in Brooklyn. Or you could apply in person, and there's a couple of different places you could do that. You could do it at one of the customer service centers and select subway stations, the customer service center in Lower Manhattan, or one of the mobile sales buses or vans. And each of these links will take you to those exact locations and their actors. And then I also have a link here that will give you more information about the reduced fare program And for assistance with applying to this, again, I'm a good resource. I can help you with that. Or you could call 511 and they will assist you with that. Next, for those that may drive, I'm going to give just some quick information about the congestion pricing program, the IDEP program. So this is the Individual Disability Exemption Plan. So this is available for individuals who have disabilities or health conditions that prevent them from using transit. And IDEP can be applied to a vehicle registered to the applicant or to a vehicle registered to a person that the applicant designates. So a family member or a caregiver, if they use that vehicle to drive the applicant into the congestion relief zone. Other discounts may be available as well, which would include the low income discounts. So there's a few steps to apply for the IDEP program. So first, confirm your eligibility. So the vehicle that you're registering with IDEP has to be registered to you, the person with the disability, or if it's for someone that you're caring for, it'll be registered to the parent or the caregiver. And then you will have to prove eligibility. So that will either be through an IDEP assessment, or you actually don't need to be assessed if you are already enrolled in Access-a-Ride, or if you already have a New York City parking permit for people with disabilities. And for those PPPD, they need to be issued on or before November 15th of 2024. The next step, if you do need to get assessed, if you don't have PPPD or Access-a-Ride, you can call the appropriate number to schedule an IDEP assessment. So their hours are 9 to 5, and you can call. There's one number listed here for Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx, a separate number for Manhattan, and a separate number for Staten Island that you can call and schedule that assessment. And you'll want to make sure that you print and complete the IDEP eligibility assessment application to bring with you to the appointment. Next, you have to ensure that you have an EasyPass New York account, or you can set one up online if needed, and just make sure that you have your updated license plate details in your account and that they match the car that you're registering with IDEP. And then the last step is to complete the online IDEP application on the MTA website, or they also have it on the EasyPass website. And then from there, you will wait for approval or denial notice, which will include appeal instructions if you are denied.
Anna, can I jump in really quickly with a question?
Yes.
This is just as someone that uses some of these services. When we get into these vehicles, and there's congestion pricing, or are you with MAS or Access-a-Ride or DOE, and they're asking us to sign for things or to understand what they need as a driver, how do you support, or how can we support the people in the vehicles that we're giving the access to know how to speak to the drivers when they're saying, hey, can I take the tunnel? Will they pay for this toll? We don't know those things. So what would you suggest in those spaces?
Yeah, so this IDEP is for, I hope I'm answering your question when I say this IDEP is for personal vehicles. When you're riding Access-a-Ride or MIS, you're not responsible for the tolls when going into the CBD.
So we can just simply say, we're not responsible for the toll. The person that's paying for the ride will cover everything you need to know. That can be like a fail-safe statement.
Yeah. The $290 that you're paying is a flat rate for Access-a-Ride. So no, you're not responsible for those tolls.
Okay, so
they're
parents,
also
when you're in the
exempt.
car and they're asking you questions you don't know the answer to, circle them back to where they came from. You're not responsible, and lead them back to where they came so that you can be comfortable in the ride. Like, even myself, as much as I know, I don't know how contracts work and what they need. So don't make this something that you feel like you need to know or you're uncomfortable knowing. Lead them back to where they came from. Right, Anna?
Yes, thank you for that. Okay, so last section, I'm just going to be talking now about navigating and route planning and some tips and tools for that. So some role planning strategies, always be planning ahead. So a great tip is to use the MTA's trip planner. I have it linked here, and then you'll see on the right, the blue rectangle shows what it will look like. So you can enter your address, what station you want to go to and from. You can change the time of day that you're planning to leave, so it'll give you the updated schedules. And then a great feature is also the accessible trip box that you can check, so it'll make sure that whatever stations it's leading you to are going to be accessible. And then it also allows you to edit some travel preferences and add some filters to what you're exactly looking for when planning your trip. Google Maps and Apple Maps are also pretty good with accessibility. I would say Google is a bit better with making sure that it tells you which stations are accessible when you're planning your trip, but that's another good option. And it gives you both
Can I
apps.
jump in there and add something that you guys may not use? It used to be called Foursquare, but it is now called City Mapper. CITYMAPPR. It's like Waves. It's better than MTA. And also for our families, I will say if you do travel and go to other cities, states, and or countries, this translates everywhere. And I wouldn't say don't use MTA, but MTA is folded into City Mapper. And Anna, if you don't have it, pull it up. CITYMAPPER, City Mapper.
Awesome, thank you for that. Okay, so yes, Google Maps, Apple Maps, City Mapper all sound like great options as well for planning your trip. Another thing to mention is it's always a good idea to check elevator and escalator status if that's something that you need on MTA sites or apps. I have the link here, and then also knowing bus stop changes and detours in advance is helpful. So there's also a link here that will give you the service status updates. And then some other apps provided by the MTA. So the MTA app and Train Time are great. The one on the top, the black box with the white circle that says MTA in it, that's the regular MTA app. And then Train Time is the blue box with the light blue picture of the rail, and then again the white circle with MTA in the middle. So that's what you'll want to be looking for in the App Store if you're trying to download these. So the MTA app allows you to plan trips across subway, bus, and railroad, as well as see real-time arrival times, service alerts, check any planned work that may be happening at a station, elevator and escalator outages, and you can also live chat with MTA staff if you need help or if you want to report any issues. And then you can also book, modify, and track your Access-a-Ride trips in that app. And then Train Time, the second app, allows you to buy tickets for LIRR and Metro North. You can plan trips with schedules, transfers, and multiple station searches. You can save and share trips with friends and family. You can track your train in real time with GPS and crowd info, get live service status and alerts, and you can also chat with LIRR or Metro North customer service in this app. So now a couple of really cool accessibility tools. We have first Navulens. So this is, you'll see the Navulens code at the picture at the top of the screen. On the right side of that sign in the subway station, you'll see a box with black, blue, pink, and yellow squares. That is the Navulens code. So this is an app-based wayfinding tool that is built for blind and low vision travelers. It reads a special QR-like code. So that's what that code is there. It reads it from a distance. So I often get the question, how does Navulens help someone that's blind or low vision if they can't see where the code is? This QR code is a lot more sensitive and high tech than a regular QR code. You know how sometimes with a QR code, you have to really zoom in and make sure you're pointing it right at the code to make sure it scans it. This Navulens code is a lot more high tech. So if you're in the general vicinity and you just like move your phone to one side slightly, it'll pick it up right away. So it's a lot stronger in that sense. And what it does is it gives you audio directions in over 30 languages, and it's installed in select subway stations and bus stops. So it's still in the pilot program phase, but the MTA is planning to expand this system wide. The next tool is the Convo Access Pilot. So this is free live ASL interpretation through the Convo Access app. So you can kind of see it on the right in this photo. It's a bit dark, but there is a green sticker on the window here that has the word Convo on it and then the QR code below that you scan, and it connects deaf or hard of hearing riders with an ASL interpreter that's live and on their own device. You'll see on the right, you can see the person with their cell phone, and you can see the ASL interpreter is helping them communicate with this MTA worker. So yeah, like I said, you're gonna just scan the QR code in green at select locations, and they're available at subway customer service centers like Times Square and Yankee Stadium, and a few others right now. Like I said, it's just in the pilot program. And they have them at the mobile sales vehicles and LIRR and Metro North stations as well. So that's something that we're hoping that they'll continue to work out any kinks and continue to expand so that people can have that tool. So that is the last tool I have, and that completes our presentation. So I'm sure I feel like I've seen a lot of questions going off in the chat.
And before we jump into questions, guys, please see, I have been following Anna. We have City Mapper, we have MTA Info, we have Navalins, we have all of the announcements, information, links to get you to what you need that she has presented. We will send these items out to you that has registered. We have the videos ready on Outreach. So know that you have these links. Please access them. Please download them. And now, Anna, I will give them back. I just wanted everyone to know that everything you've been talking about is piecemeal. All the links, all the downloads are in the chat. Back to you.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Christy. And please let me know if there's anything you think you're missing out. I'm open to sharing the whole presentation with you to make sure you have everything that people might need. So yeah, I will take questions, and I also just wanted to mention again that my contact information is on the screen. I'm also going to add it to the chat so that people can copy and paste if that's easier. And I know I went through a lot of information, so if you have a question that but you need a refresher about something that on a slide that I showed, I'm happy to go back
And
for
please
you.
do raise your hand so that we can move through in an orderly fashion. And there were a couple of questions. Can I read them off? If you've answered them already, it's totally fine. It was, can you have both half fare and accessoride? Or can more than one person have half rides in the same home?
So yes, I do believe that more than one person can have the fair fare discount or the reduced fare discount in the same home. It does base it off of household income, but if you're meeting that requirement, then multiple people from the same household can use the program. And yes, you can use the half price discount with accessoride, but only the fair fares discount. Unfortunately, the reduced fare discount only applies for subways and buses at this point.
Can
So
I
it
jump
doesn't
in and
work
just
with
ask a
AR.
question that flagged for me? You said that they base it off of household income. However, we know Medicaid waiver is not based on income. So can you speak about where income comes in and income doesn't when it comes to traveling?
So I think I'm not sure exactly what I think it would be best if we looked at the suggested documents that they ask for fair
Wonderful.
fares to determine exactly what they're looking for. But yeah,
This isn't something that's Medicaid waiver front facing. It's, if you have a disability, you can try to reach out for this service. However, your income for this particular space might still be included alongside of the diagnoses.
So Yes, it's different. It's not necessarily related to whether or not you have Medicare or Medicaid services. It's just based solely on income for fair fares, whereas reduced fare is solely based on age and disability.
Thank
Does that
you.
make
And guys,
sense?
you guys can go to HRA Access. This allows you to see every single thing you're signed up for now. It will pull it into one document, one space, and you can do everything that she's saying here, there, and in every other place that she's saying. Anna, there's another question that says, is there a conflict between having a reduced fare Metro card for disability and you've been a Access-a-Ride member? Because there are people that after they got a reduced fare from MTA, now with the Omni card are not receiving any benefits, nor the reduced fare from MTA, nor the fees from Access-a-Ride. Is that regular with Omni card?
So there is no conflict. If you had a reduced fare Metro card and you are an Access-a-Ride member, you will still be receiving the half price for your fares on subways and buses. But the reduced fare has never applied for Access-a-Ride, unfortunately. Again, that's something that we're advocating for because I don't understand the MTA's reasoning why fares works with Access-a-Ride and reduced fare does not. But okay, you're saying there are people that after got a reduced fare from it. Yeah,
Well, I
so
want to say,
when you
Anna,
have,
with saying how one thing doesn't work for another, and we can bring this into another thing, is this somewhere where we as parents can pull into a space of advocacy and attempt to change the policy surrounding this?
yes, so the Fair Fares program is run by the city. It's like a city council issue. Reduced fare is through the MTA. So the MTA does hold board and committee meetings once a month where they have public hearings where you can come and bring
Anna,
up
do
any
you have that
concerns.
information readily available for us so that people can know to sign up, to go to the meetings if they want to have feedback?
Yeah, I can, after I stop sharing my screen, I can grab the link. But if you just look up MTA board meetings, it'll take you to the schedule. And then in there, there's a link that says, it says, I believe, learn how to speak at public comment period or something along those lines. And it'll tell you how to sign up for that. So I can grab that link. So yeah, that's a great place for you to air out any concerns about any MTA program, Access-a-Ride, anything like that. I'm there every month talking about the issues that I hear from our consumers. So that's a great place for you to advocate for a reduced fare applying with Access-a-Ride.
We've just added the link into the chat. Anna, I am going to ask you as president of the council to please stay in loop with us when we come to the legislative portions of this, because we absolutely will need your expertise in certain spaces to help parents learn how to advocate. That's the right link, right, Anna? How to comment at the board and committee meetings?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, wonderful.
Perfect. And just to make sure I fully answered that question, I think you might have been asking specifically also about the new Omni card. So the Omni card does allow you to have, you can use the new Omni card if you have Access-a-Ride, you can use it for your Access-a-Ride trips as your form of payment. And then you also do get 4 free trips per day on the subway and bus, on the subways and the buses with the new Omni card. So if someone is not receiving those benefits, but they just got the new Omni card, that should be applying. So if I have heard that is maybe a glitch that's going on with the new Omni as it applies to Access-a-Ride. And that's something that I am bringing up with MTA leadership. So if you do know someone that's having that issue, please contact me and I can help with that.
Wonderful. Do we have any? Let's just check in, guys. We do have Spanish, Mandarin, and Bangla. Let's check in with our interpretation lines to see if we have any additional questions on that end. Interpreters, could you let us know if we have any spaces where parents have questions?
No questions in Bangla line.
Thank you.
No questions on the Spanish line.
Thank
No
you.
question on the Chinese line.
Thank you. Could you please let us know if we do have people in those particular rooms?
请问有没有人在听呢？我们今天这个翻译。
All right. Well, while you guys let me know, and if we have any particular people, we will go ahead and give it back over to Miss Anna Humphrey. We have no other questions or considerations in the chat. If you do, please raise your hand, unmute, or type into the chat. We know you're on lunch, so we want to be diligent about your time. Anna, thank you for swiftly moving through these beautiful resources. You do have the floor again.
Okay, thanks so much, Christine. Thanks everyone so much for listening. If you have any other questions that you want to take offline, any individual issues that you want to contact me about, or if you just think of something later, please take my contact information. I'm going to put it in the chat one more time just to make sure everyone has it. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your
Pasen
day.
una buena tarde y gracias por tenerme. Ya se acabó la junta.
Do we have a Spanish interpreter
Oh, no.
that can speak and assist the parent that's speaking now? We want to make sure that she is heard.
Yes, hello.
Yes, you may speak. Thanks for joining us.
Habla, por favor.
I can speak.
Do
¿Puede
you have
hablar?
preguntas?
¿Tiene una pregunta o comentario?
You have a question or a comment? If not, Spanish interpreters, if you could jump in our chat and help us out, however we can help this parent on and or offline, we'll do so. Miss Anna, thank you again. We're looking forward to Anna. She's coming back. Anna, help me out. Is it September 14th, guys? Regardless if we get the date right. At the beginning of school, Anna Humphreys is going to come back because we are going to know your voting rights. You guys know that we have a lot going on that's very sensitive with our children and better. And so we want to make sure that you know your rights, you know where to vote, you know how to vote, and anything else Anna knows that we may not know to make sure you have your rights and that you are brought into this process. September 18th at 12 p.m. We will have another lunch and learn. Thank you, Anna. Guys, I don't want to be remiss. I see it says usted tiene alguna pregunta o comentario. Does that mean that someone on the Spanish line has a question? We want to make sure we give space.
Queremos asegurarnos de que todos tengan el espacio.
I
¿Alguna
hear
pregunta o
a
comentario?
I hear a question. I'm waiting for her to repeat it because it sounded muffled. Just a moment, please.
Oh,
¿Usted
thank you
tiene
very
una
much.
pregunta? Por favor, repítelo. Señora. A parent had a question about how a child can make comments and how her as a parent can make comments about her rights. But it's
I'll give you two layers, Miss Carmelina. For us, we have D75 council at schools.nyc.gov.
Al consejo del 75. Can you repeat that, please?
D75, it's in the chat as well.
Oh,
D75 Council.
usted se puede comunicar con el D75 council @schools.nyc.gov y la dirección electrónica está en el chateo. Usted se puede comunicar y su hijo o hija se puede comunicar por correo electrónico para que le dan asistencia. Gracias.
Miss Carmelina, could you also let her know it's perfectly okay to write to us in Spanish? We will translate it. We will use the Office of Language Accessibility. It's not her job to make sure we understand. Just write us. We will make sure we get back to her with someone who speaks Spanish and give her exactly what she needs and her son a platform to speak. Miss Anna, do you want to round us out as we're closing out the, I mean, you pretty much did, but is there anything else that you'd like to add before we move into voting in September?
No, just thank you again for having me. And again, if you have any other questions about transportation or voting or rights, anything like that, please contact me. Or if you're just interested about any other services that CIDNY provides, we have a lot of great resources, as well as education, events, activities. So please contact me and I can connect you with those people. And yeah, thank you so much again, Christy, for the help with all the links and everything. And thank you to our interpreters, and I'm excited to see you all again, hopefully on September 18th.
Yes, so quick question, Anna, and this may be something we do behind the scenes. Are you coming to our back to school affair September 6th from 11 to 3 p.m. at Jacob Javits Center? I think it would be awesomely wonderful if you or somebody is available where they can touch space with you on the 6th prior to the next meeting. Is that something that we can possibly email you the information and link you with the district?
Yeah, so I actually did already, I spoke to Paulette actually about it. She invited us to table, and unfortunately I'll be on vacation, but I do think that there were a few people from CIDNY that said that they would love to table. So I will make sure that
Wonderful. No,
those people got
Paulette
in
is a wonderful
contact.
resource. We're going to make sure that Jacqueline Ortega, she's over the vendors with the district. I will make sure that they get that information and just link back with you guys, and whoever can be available, we can make sure that we have a space here, and then people can also come back for voting and get the videos and have your information for later.
Okay, perfect.
Again, thank you, Anna. Thank you, guys. We have 2 minutes left before your lunch is over. We hope you ate. Please do eat. Eating matters. Drink your juice, drink your water, stay out of the sun, stay hydrated, and have an amazing day. Again, our next council meeting is the first Wednesday in September. We hope to see you there. Also, guys, Jacob Javits Center, September 6th, Saturday, 11 to 3. Touch base with your schools. Each school will have busing to Jacob Javits Center round trip. There'll be food. There'll be fun. There will be over 40, 50 vendors. It will be a complete fair. It's massive. It's our first time doing it. We want to see you guys there. So please do sign up with the website and or with us. Have a great lunch. Have a great day. And we will see you soon. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Anna.
Thank you.
And this meeting is now adjourned at 12:59 p.m. Have a great day, guys.